day. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
So I have a list. If you're not on the list but would like to read, just say in the chat, message me. So, okay, it looks like Georgia will have to go. The first person on my list I have is Albert.
Who?
Albert.
Okay.
Sorry, so just it's just like really short. It's kind of weird.
Never apologize for your cooking and never apologize for your writing. All right? And remember, it isn't a matter of how long or short something is. It's whether it says what you needed to say. Let's hear it.
I guess it does that. When global warming was coming to a chaotic stage, there was one single watermelon left. However, this watermelon was suddenly eaten by a cat. The turtle came over and ate the cat to eat the watermelon. After that, the concept of food was gone. That's just basically it.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
I like that idea.
I also like the idea, Albert. I mean, I think, certainly it's, it's short, but I do like the idea that at some point the whole idea disappears, that change can be so complete that the idea goes away. So I think that's a good core, and I think you could go some with it. Do you want to talk about why you had problems or how this was hard for you?
Well, I mean, like when I first saw these words, they were kind of really random. So I mean, it was kind of hard to put them all together for me. So that's why it kind of ended up being a bit short, and because I mean that was basically almost the only way that I could actually manage to keep those words together without having like ton of clutter in the few sentences that I was able to write. So, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, basically.
Okay. Okay. Well, it gives us a very crisp and clean idea. So I wouldn't give up on that completely. I think it's a really interesting idea.
And I think that, the starting idea of, the global warming crisis and then the thing that the example of what that means is that there's just this one watermelon left. I mean, that's a really quite very striking and quite powerful idea that could take you on a whole journey.
And remember, like a poem, like a haiku, it's very short, but it's powerful. And this is a powerful idea. And so thank you very much. Thank you. Well done, Albert. I really think you can be satisfied with that. Next person.
Next up is Nami.
Okay, so my words were a wolf, mythology, guinea pig, anime, cat, and boat. So yeah, so here's my story. Susan took a seat on her canoe. It had a leak, so water seeped inside the boat and got her pants wet. Susan squirmed uncomfortably. She didn't like boats. They made her seasick. But her dad and her little sister, Gina, had dragged her along, thinking that paddling a canoe would be good family time. Susan groaned. She took out her sketch pad and began to doodle, animate their big eyes, wide smiles, and long hair. Are you helping, Susan? Gina asked. Paddle the boat. It can't just be me and Dad doing it. Also, you want to be ready just in case you see Nessie. You mean the Loch Ness Monster? Susan asked, raising her eyebrow. She was bemused. Gina wasn't the type who told stories. She was more serious, smart, and loved to be outdoors to get exercise. Also, Gina watched Mythbusters every night. Why would she make up things about the Loch Ness Monster? Oh, we've seen Nessie on our last 10 or so canoeing trips, said Gina casually, as if she was just talking about the weather. She's harmless, just steer clear of her before she gets mad. But she's a myth, I said. You said so yourself last month. Huh? Oh yeah, Gina nodded, frowning. That's when I didn't realize. I was very close-minded back then. I was only 9. You're only a month older and 10 years old, Susan said. When you're 9, you seem much more logical. Oh, I just realized something. I kept switching between I and Susan because I just kept saying I instead of Susan. But yeah,
Okay.
you're so suddenly Susan's guinea pig, Bob, ran out of her soaking wet pocket. He splashed around in her leaky boat, getting her pad of paper wet. Bob, Susan shouted, you ruined my drawing of anime. I've been drawing eyes for months and I haven't seemed to be able to draw them until now. Susan picked up Bob and threw him back into her pocket, annoyed that he could do such a thing. She leafed through her pad of paper until she found a dry piece of paper. The edges were wet, but the others were worse. Angry, Susan drew a cat trying to eat Bob. Suddenly, the boat tipped over. Susan screamed. Her dad and Gina acted as nothing had happened and swam away. Nessie's coming, Gina panted casually. She's getting mad. You're making too much noise. Cool, Susan said sarcastically. And this is just where I want to be, stuck in the middle of the lake with no other than a mythical Loch Ness monster. The two sisters and their dad swam safely to the shore. Bob, Susan shouted, I lost him. Suddenly, the family dog, Huey, ran at him. He was a wolf, but he came to their doorstep with a broken leg. Susan's mom had helped heal his leg when she tried to release Huey into the water. Huey, though, had refused. He wanted to stay with Susan's family. Susan's mom, who had taken a liking for him, took him, much to Susan's disappointment. Susan hated Huey. He always managed to find Bob in the most unexpected places, such as the bathtub, where he was chewing on Bob's tail. Susan had to have multiple replacements for the original Bob, so there she found Huey next to the lake, chewing the remains of Bob. Susan sighed. Suddenly, Nessie emerged. She had a huge head that was the size of the family's fold-down stairs. She looked at Susan. Susan stared back. The two eyes locked, a pair as big as a quarter and a pair as big as Susan herself. Gina looked at Nessie's eyes. It was clear that Nessie was going to eat them or kill them or anything in between. I've learned the dialect of Nessie, Gina said. She was good with languages, but Susan didn't think she was smart enough to learn Nessie's language. Or I think I know a word that'll make her go away, but that's all I know. Gina made a hissing sound and Nessie backed away. She's scared of snakes, Gina said. At least I think she is. When I hiss, she goes. Gina hissed again, and Nessie disappeared into the deep, deep lake. So yeah, that's just my story.
Okay. Once I have to finish writing. Okay, I think that's really very, very well done, Nami. Very well done. I mean, it's a complete story, and it's got lots of nice details. I know my daughter loves anime right now. She's like insane with anime. She's just watching it literally all day. And when she's drawing, she's mainly drawing eyes. She's been going through an eye phase. I'm picking up a couple details in here that connect with, I think my life and experience that make it, that sort of grounded in reality. Because you've got Nessie, you've got this monster that Nessie that is mythological, that doesn't exist. But you grounded the story in real things, like Bob is the chain, this long chain of hamsters named Bob. We have a lot of pets, so we're familiar with the little pet dies, you get a new pet. Your cat dies, you get a new pet. It's like when a king or queen dies in England, it's God save the queen, and then the queen is dead, and then there's the next one, God save the new one. I like the relationship with the father. That also, I think the relationships with the people was very realistic. I also get seasick, and I like this idea of just sort of feeling on this boat. You're just going to focus on the drawing. So I think your character development was really nice, and certainly the words you chose. I don't know all of the 6 that they were, but they're not obtrusive in any way, and it feels like you did a good job of incorporating them and letting them, guide your story. So I'd say congratulations, very well done.
Thanks.
Okay, so next up is Lena K. And then after Lena, I'm going to put Rachel because she has to leave soon. So the order's switching a little bit. But next is Lena K.
The words I chose were dragon, cinnamon, jello, green, basket, and sing. Cinnamon the dragon loved jello. Cinnamon ate jello every day. Jello on toast, jello spaghetti, jello in April and May. Cinnamon's favorite jello was green. He ate it most of the time. But one day he realized he couldn't afford more as he had not a penny, not a dollar nor dime. He searched in his basket and under a book, under his bed and under his chair. He doubted that it could have been a crook, since he couldn't find fingerprints here or there. Now I must go back to hunting, he thought, and dine on a feast of meat. He did so, but oh, how much he missed his jello, so tasty and sweet. He sang of the loss of his jello green. He sang of the meat he now ate. Eventually, he earned more money to buy some jello, but now he moderates.
What's the last word? What was the last sentence? He eats the.
He moderates, like he doesn't eat that much jello anymore.
Okay.
I like it.
Well, first of all, I really like it, and I really like your use of moderates there. That's not a standard way to use moderate, and I am very fond in my own writing of kind of making up words or using words in a non-standard way. That's a really good thing to do. Again, you know, it's not going to work in school, but it does work for creative writing. And the more you can get control, you know, think, whoa, what if I put something in here that isn't expected? It you know, it causes the reader to stop and really think, which this does. I think that's really, really nice. And I like in this one where you've used all these words at the beginning, and of course it's completely ridiculous. This you know, jello eating dragon. And that's a nice challenge, I think, to have something that's completely ridiculous. But I think you did a really good job of, you know, of forming sort of real responses of the dragon to the situation, and so it's a nice little piece, and I think sometimes that happens when you do this kind of word choose. When I say nice little piece, what I mean is it's not trying to be big and huge. It's just this nice little thing, and kind of relaxed and playful, and that can be a really good thing. Is a good thing. So
there were really nice playful touches, like I really liked it when you switched from talking about the kinds of jello he liked eating and then suddenly the months of the year that he liked eating it in. You know, I think those little sort of nonsense twists really.
Yeah, and nice for saying that, Jane. And what I'd like to add to this is that even though it's just completely ridiculous, you sort of get to feel like you like. I mean, I get to feel like I like that dragon. I mean, I mean, you manage to actually get personality into the dragon in that tiny little bit of absurdity. So that's really good. It's a great skill. That's beautiful. So congratulations, Lena. Rachel?
Yes, now it's Rachel.
So I wasn't entirely happy with this, but I thought it would be helpful to get some feedback on it.
Okay.
So the words were global warming, skulls, and then just a ton of animals and boat. So it's just me, the only one left. Global warming is unforgiving. Bones and skulls litter the ground. Every time one crunches under my foot, I wince, like the angry soul will come get me. Maybe that's comforting, though. Something left from the rebel and the heat. Nothing left. No dogs, no guinea pigs, no cats, no crows, no
Wait,
people.
nothing left from the what, rubble. Is it rubble in the heat? What was that? What's the word?
Rebel
Okay.
and the
Go on.
nothing left. No dogs, no guinea pigs, no cats, no crows, no people. I need a boat to sail far away from here. But what good is a boat? What good is a boat without water? All I can do is run and hope. But what good is running? What good is running if there's no way to escape?
And you thought, and you were unhappy with that?
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
I
It's
like it.
really, really good. It's really, really good
Yeah.
written. So I have this research project in northern Kenya, and I've been there. In fact, the last time I was there was a drought, and you see these animals, big animals. I'm talking about camels, dead on the ground, with just the bones or a little bit of flesh left. Cows and camels, goats dead. Just, I mean, it's unbelievable. So I think that, I mean, this really is global warming, and um, and um, and you really got, you know, a really fine evocation, and this idea, here we are, we need a boat, but then there's no water, and so I'm going to run to find safety, but there isn't any. Um, and that is great. I mean, that is really, I think, the sense that all of us feel, or many of us feel, in fear about climate change. So I think it's really, really well written, and very powerful. So I think you should be really proud of it, and that's what I have to say. It's really, I mean, really powerful. Thank you very much, Rachel. Thank you.
I need to go, so thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
You have to sign off if you want.
Okay, so next up is Any.
Okay, so my words were global warming, boat sing, soundlessly, wolf, and furious.
You got some of the similar words. Okay.
The sky was furious. Smoke drifted up, up, up into the blue. Her voice, so intoxicatingly sweet most days, could not be heard from beneath the haze of gray. Gray and red, anger and torment swarming the horizon. The hills that usually pierced frayed clouds seemed to foreshadow danger as red and pink loomed above. High up in the sky that no longer seemed to me the heavens, somewhere in my imagination, I heard a wolf howling for home. The cries of the suffocating sky was not piercing, not pounding, not an unignorable shriek of threats. No, it was much more silent, singing, almost crying pathetically, for a homeland that no longer existed. I heard the noise through the pane of glass that separated hazardous air from home. I heard the pining as the wolf of the heavens cried, soundlessly, so soundlessly, high above the world, cried, crept into my soul slowly. I heard the noiseless cries for home. I heard it, yet it was silent. Life seemed a fairy tale, a myth, no longer in existence. The sky seemed a villain, but in reality it was a mirror reflecting the horrors of the world. A mirror swarmed with the smog that was our breath, the toxic breath of humanity, of global warming, climate change, burning air, air of gray. The sky was a mirror, a tormented prisoner, begging, pleading to return to blue. A mirror of reflective glass, fogged up by our breath which never seemed to cease. Somewhere through the pane of glass, I heard a wolf, crying in the distance, the wolf of the heavens, somewhere, it was gone now. But somewhere I heard an echo, soundlessly pining as the sky began to sing, sobbing, heart-wrenched and broken. My heart was dull. We had killed the sky.
Wow. I mean, that is so powerful. Very, very, very powerful. And this, I think, is a really brilliant example of how these sort of random words can be put together, like the Rorschach test, and to produce something that is complete, a complete story. And your use of furious. So this is exactly what I'd had in mind with these words. So, you know, you have the sky being furious, you know, not a person furious. That is just really brilliant. The smoke drifts up. You've got this anger and torment in the whole world. And, you know, we talked about the anthropomorphism and the, I can't even remember all those words for giving life to inanimate objects. But you're doing this, the blue anger and torment of the sky. the sun no longer seems the heavens. I love this transformation. I've never thought of that idea before or seen it. I don't know if anybody else has, but I think that that's right. You know, we've always thought of the sky. It's blue, it's fresh, it's safe, it's fabulous. But with the climate change, we have a feeling that the sky is poison. And you know, as I said, it's been spring-like where I live. It's been 70 degrees, which is 15 degrees warmer than it should be, day after day after day. I'll tell you, it's lovely. It's lovely, but it's scary because it's just not right. And the blue sky doesn't seem safe. I like this pane of glass looking through the separation from the world, and yet the sound of this wolf comes through. And this is a really very, very clever way to use the wolf, because the wolf is this howling sound that we think of weirdly, I think of sort of as loneliness, even though I don't think they're doing it together. They're not being lonely, but humans we interpret that sound as being lonely. And you know, the last wolf, certainly an animal that has been under enormous pressure from humans. And we've driven them to extinction in various places. Fortunately, we're bringing them back. But this is definitely a symbol of extinction, of loss, of sadness, of loneliness. And, you know, the wolf crying, sounding, sobbing in my heart. You know, this is just very powerful language, and amazing, and that you're able to pull that together from these random words. So, and I think that's another example of why this kind of thing can be a great assignment, because it really can cause your mind to put together all kinds of associations kind of instantly. So congratulations, Annie, extremely well done.
All right, next up is Aylin.
And mine's really, really short though.
Don't apologize.
My cat Misery hisses at the crow that has landed on a tree branch outside my room, its small white fangs bared at the bird. Restraining a laugh that threatens to escape, I place my hand between its soft ears, calming it down instantly. The sky is dark, so dark that the crow can barely be seen. It is a mere outline of the elegant scavenger that I see in the day, when the sun is shining. A tempest rages outside my window, its rain pelting the glass surface so hard that I have to reassure myself of its resistibility.
Can you
Out
slow
of
down?
nowhere, it hits me, the irony of a storm falling upon me as I am reading a mythology book about the Norse god of thunder. I imagine a shoulder-length, blue-eyed, pale-skinned god perching outside my window like an acrobat. The very thought makes me laugh. Then, like, asterisk, like space, then, I wake up hours later, still lying on the black beanbag near my window. I look down myself, blinking the sleep out of my eyes. I'm wearing gray leggings and a gray oversized t-shirt with a guinea pig on it. Why, I don't know. I still wear my Adidas runners, which are a salad of colors from my various artworks. Too sleepy to do anything else, I pull my Mac onto my lap and jam my earbuds into the port. For a while, I just stare at the skull sticker at the back of the computer, my mind drawing a blank on everything, albeit me not wondering anything. It takes a while, but I shake myself out of my white daze and log on to my computer. I search for an audiobook of We Were Liars, finally finding one for a reasonable price. I've never listened to it before, but I have an unquenched desire for a book that I will remember for a while. This book has been recommended on many occasions. By the end of the book, I have tears rolling down my face, and I stare into nothing, my mind focusing only on the story. And that's all I got to write because I had an immense writer's block, which I have had for like 2 months. It was very bad, the story.
I liked it.
Okay, yeah, Aylin, listen, don't, you know, don't criticize yourself like that. It isn't helpful. I'm just giving you real advice. It's not helpful, because if you get too critical of what you're writing as you're writing it, then it really can inhibit it. And what you wrote is really good. So so as I said to all of you, really, you have to write with confidence, and you know, whatever you're unhappy with in this piece, you work that out on the next one. But anyway, I thought this was nice. And some details that I like especially is the reality of what wearing, the t-shirt with the Adidas, the Mac, the earbuds, which I've managed to lose both my pair and my daughter's pair in the last couple of weeks. They're too small. You know, you had this God perched outside the window like an acrobat. So you have this fantastical world brought into a world that's really real. You've got Norse God and you've got a Mac computer. That's really nice. There's a whole style of fiction where you have both, we're in the realistic world, but this outside world comes in. My daughter's watching anime, so I'm noticing in some of the anime shows, programs, you have sort of these Japanese mythical creatures that are interacting inside the story that is
Oh, yeah.
otherwise very realistic.
Yeah. Yeah,
and-
like mythical creatures are a big part of anime, like dragons, prince, and like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and one that was kind of this god of death, and he drops a notebook, and anyone who
Oh,
picks up
yeah.
the notebook, have you
Death
seen that
Note.
one? Right? Death
Death
Note,
Note.
right?
No,
yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. It's on my Netflix list.
It's really great. And if you write the name of somebody, then they will die. So you've got this, but they've got computers, you've got everything, the supernatural brought into it. So I think it's really good. And I also like the evocation of the writer who has this immense writer's block and is just sitting there. You open the computer. I don't know if all of you have done that, but it certainly happened to me. I've had some problems lately writing. And you just think, oh my God, like what's happening to me? So
I like the way that you use the whole challenge of change and chance and randomness to, it was a coherent whole, but you did skip from one thing to another. You know, there was this crow and then suddenly and there's a Norse god, and then suddenly you were talking about you and what you're wearing, and it really did that pivoting really nicely while still.
I just
Yeah.
realized when you just pointed that out, that crows actually symbolize change. I just realized when you pointed that out.
how old are you, Island?
I'm 11. I'm
Okay.
going to be 12 in 4 months.
Okay. So, you know, I'll just say that one problem with getting older, and this is especially completely true of adults, you know, like no adult could take this class, because if you said, okay, now go write for half an hour, they can't write unless they're completely frozen. I mean, just try it with your parents. They're completely frozen because they're so critical. They're sure that whatever they write is going to be stupid. They're just afraid to even get anything out. So it's really important. I mean, and a great thing about you taking this class is it really forces you to be, creative on demand.
Excuse me.
But don't, don't question yourself.
I tried that with my mom, and she's a professional writer, so she didn't care.
She could do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she's a professional writer. Okay. All right. Let's move on. But so thank you. Stay confident in yourselves. No self-questioning. No self-doubt. Be like Nova. Clearly, no self-doubt.
I have 2 professional writers for parents.
Oh my God. Well, I
Lucky.
think you're gonna be the.
It's gonna be hard to make my parents not want to write, because if I'm just like go write for half an hour and do something creative, they're probably just gonna be like, okay, we'll go write realistic fiction about the brain, because they're neuroscientists.
All right.
Cool.
Well, that's interesting. Be good to talk to them. But let's move on to the next person, Nova. We're trying to push. Who's next?
Okay, next up is Julia.
Okay, the words I chose were pig, walk, butter, oil, quickly, and pan. Once upon a time, there was a pig who loved to eat butter with toast. He also liked to walk quickly.
Slow down. Talk slower. I need to hear. Okay. And it's good to practice talking slower, because we're going to have a formal reading at the end of the session. So talk slower. Please start over.
Sorry,
Once upon a time, there was a pig who loved to eat butter with toast. He also liked to walk quickly and roll in oil. One day, he found a gift at his door. The pig opened the letter that was on top of the gift. The letter said that inside the gift, there would be a cooking pot. The pig did find a pan, but it was full of mice, and the pig was afraid of mice. After that, the pig never opened his gifts again.
That's just a nice little thing. It's really a sweet little thing. I really like that. Very, very nice. So you just used and that's another approach, which I guess we heard earlier, kind of similar to what Lena did with us cinnamon eating dragon, or at the beginning, especially Elbert's, more similar to Elbert's, where you just use the words, pull them together, and it's like, well, what can I say? A little bonbon, like a little candy, like a little sweet, a very, very, just beautiful little idea. That was very nice. Thank you. Really sweet. Well done.
All right, next up is Anya.
So, I don't remember what most of my words were at this point, but one of them was and so I wanted to focus on and so it's a poem and it's called What And Is. And, what is and? And is between, even though is between and is walking and talking, and is cause and effect, and is so and so. It isn't its own. You don't say and by itself, because it is the link through which everything goes. And is falling and falling through the ground, and lights flashing, and a dragon rearing its head, and then waking up and realizing it was all a dream. And is family, aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents, and vacation and food and avocado brownies, and every single thing that makes up a minuscule moment of life. And is when a little kid keeps on telling a story, and then this and then that until you're exhausted, but the ands and the twists and the turns just keep coming. And is everything, and is nothing. It is change, it is crucial, a conjunction that goes between everything in life, and this poem is and.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. That's right, Caden. Georgia's brother. Georgia, what's your brother's name? Are you still here, Georgia? Georgia?
I think
Georgia had to leave.
Had to leave. Okay.
Well, I think he might be called William or something.
Yeah, I think Georgia's mother works for Stone Soup. Laura, you all know her. She's the book club, and she sent me this great video. I'll play it next time, of her the little brother William, who overhears, listens to the talks, and he makes fun of me. He makes fun of William. He says William's always saying, "Wow, wow, wow, wow." So Caden, thank you for saying that. I don't know what to say, Anya. I'm just sort of blown out of the water. What can I say that's constructive here? Oh my God. It's just great. You left me speechless, Anya.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, it's funny and it's philosophical and it's clever and it's playful. I mean, it's really something.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. I think that's a good thing, Jane, the playfulness. Throwing in the avocado toast. I mean, that was just absolutely...
Avocado brownies.
What is it, Anya? Toast or brownies?
It's avocado brownies. It's a thing. It's an inside joke in our family when my grandmother tried to make brownies using avocado.
All right. So I heard of this toast, but avocado brownies. So, I mean, it's fantastic. And of course, you're bringing something real into a poem where everyone is going to think that there's no way, if this was published and people had people teaching it in university and stuff, there's no way they're going to think that avocado brownie was something from your grandmother. They're going to be certain that it's really some really sort of clever, imaginative something that you're trying to say. So it's really nice. And that bringing in, so I just want everyone to note, again, this sort of bringing in a real life of life experience.
And then when they interview you about your poem and they ask about the avocado brownies and the deeper meaning, you're just going to say, it's an inside joke for our family from when my grandma tried to make brownies using avocados. And then,
That's right.
And then everybody teaching the poem in university is just gonna be like, we were trying to figure out the deeper meaning of avocado brownies the whole time, and it was really just avocado brownies.
Exactly. And actually something Nova says there is really something where, you know, people will read into what you've written things that may not actually be there. Remember the Rorschach test. Anyway, it's really nice. And all of these comparisons, you know, the family and the aunts and the uncles and the this and the that, then dropping to the child just telling the story, you're totally bored and it never stops. But then very philosophical thinking about and. So I will just, I guess I have to use my word, wow. But also what I do say, and I know I say it often, but that really is a brilliant work, Anya, and congratulations. You should be very, very proud of that. Very nice. Okay, who's next?
All right.
We've time for more. How many?
Kiera is
what do-
next.
Okay.
The guinea pig shuffled around, pacing in her cage and padding about on the soft scraps of wood beneath her paws. She had been waiting in a lonely, desolate classroom for nearly a month now, wondering if anyone would ever return. Blasts of scalding heat would occasionally float through an open window, and the soft, comfortable evening breeze would come along after. This guinea pig was quite a sociable one, always grateful to have the students and teachers around when they were there. But now that there wasn't a human in sight, she found herself bored from morning to night. It was a sunny summer Sunday afternoon. A child sat in his backyard on the cool grass under the shade of an ancient willow tree that had been planted long before his birth 6 years back, playing joyfully beneath the chirps of cheerful birds. He lived right beside the local elementary school, where there were often mysterious whistling sounds echoing out of it. Today's noise was especially loud, and the boy was also in the mood for adventure and mischief, so he sprinted around the bushes of his yard and past the school gates one building down the street. The guinea pig whined as loud as she could. Still no one? Why did all of the usually friendly ones at the school suddenly want to starve her? She was always well behaved, up until now at least. Gnawing on the bars of her cage, which suddenly felt like a prison cell, she broke free and took a flying leap off the dresser that she had sat on for so long. She fell painfully onto the gray speckled tiles of the classroom floor, whimpering harder than ever. The boy ran faster and faster into his classroom he had spent so much time in the previous year. "Patches," he shouted. "Patches, is that you?" The child burst through the door of room 302, shocked to find the beloved class pet lying abandoned on the ground. "Patches," he cried, worried, as he kneeled down to lift the creature into his hands. The tiny guinea pig turned up its small piebald-colored face to view the child with its own dark eyes. The creature smiled the best she could, feeling comforted at last. With that, the boy took off running again and disappeared down the school halls and all the way back home, ready to care for the guinea pig that would be his for the remainder of summer.
Very nice. So there's lots of fabulous touches in here. Again, you have some really nice little realistic, good descriptions. So the piebald face of the guinea pig, I think that's really, really important, because if you just had left it at guinea pig, it's like totally generic. Is it a brown one, a white one? But piebald really gives you some individuality, and and it shows that you don't need to say very much to make things feel that they're really there. So that was wonderful. You did something similar, I'd say, with the joyful chirps of the birds. So they're not just chirps, they're joyful chirps. And that gives us a sense of emotion to the day and makes it feel more real. It isn't just a tree, it's an ancient tree. So we've got this sort of ancient tree, the chirps, the happy chirps, giving us a sense of a place that is, I think, comfortable, warm, sort of old and new, the natural world, and then also this 6-year-old boy who's playing there. I really liked also when the boy runs into the school and into the numbered classroom, which is again that kind of detail. It's not just into a classroom. It was what, room 301 or something. And then he sees the guinea pig. He sort of comes arriving like the hero at just the right moment to save the abandoned guinea pig's life. So, really nice. And certainly I don't know what the words were. What were some of the words that you had, Sierra?
I had guinea pig. I can't remember any of the others.
Okay, but they all flowed in, seamlessly and created a really nice piece, and I like that. It's really, really sweet, really nice. Thank you very much.
So for the rest of the people, since it's so late, how about we just have them read without any comments from you, William? Is that
okay?
That sound like a good idea?